Hey, 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 it's the Filter Free Friday, y'all. Listen, I am so glad you all are here. I was thinking this morning about a message I've heard my entire life, and that is that God is not going to bring any confusion to you, that if something is meant to be, it's not going to be hard, or, that somehow when things have been destined that the universe wants you to engage in them, that there's kind of a flow, an energy that will follow you. But yesterday, I was talking with one of my colleagues here, Dr. Michelle Robin, and she was sharing with me the difference between her professional business, which is chiropractic services, versus her philanthropic business, which is small changes, big shifts. It's more the words that make me think of it are like, what are the little things that you can do to live a more prosperous, beautiful life? And she was asking me about my work, and I was saying to her that when I'm talking about accountability, when I'm talking about conflict, when I'm trying to help leaders figure out how to drive commitment on teams and get better results, high performance kind of stuff, man, that pays well. But in 2022, the assignment that was given to me very clearly was empathy. And the question I get the most is, how does a chemical engineer uh, start talking about empathy? What I can tell you is, I I have always loved people. I'm just not one of those people who does not. I love the Lord's people. I do. And that comes with its share of challenges. But as a logical, reasonable, critical, questioning person, I didn't really care though. Like, I'm not going to say I didn't care about people. The challenges didn't get in my way. In fact, when a challenge showed up, I almost would put like these side shields on and be like, these problems are in the way, force people to be more resilient to push through the problems. But when I got this assignment, this particular one, to focus on empathy, what I started to notice was not only were the people who don't practice empathy bringing obstacles my way, the people who do practice empathy were also bringing obstacles my way. The people who are the most naturally empathetic, the people who feel with others, the people who have high levels of emotional empathy, they are so often concerned with how they feel about things that too often they can't get into the mental side of empathy to understand what another person thinks, feels, and believes, to recognize that whatever another person thinks, feels, or believes, it makes total sense to them. And so when I get this assignment, I've got the folks saying, okay, empathy is soft. We don't need to do this. This is not going to help me drive accountability. This is not going to help me drive results. But I also have the really empathetic people going, the world, the problem is those other people. The problem ain't me. I don't have any work to do to try to understand something from another person's perspective. It's you all who lack empathy. And I thought to myself, God, why you give me this assignment? Ain't nobody got time for this. Most importantly, because now, in addition to loving God's people, now I care deeply about how they feel, how they think, how they believe, and really trying to move them forward instead of just being concerned about myself. And so these obstacles are hurting me, hurting my feelings, getting in the way, keeping me up at night. And I'm just like, Lord, don't embarrass yourself. Why you give me this assignment if you ain't gonna make it easy, if it ain't gonna flow? Like, is this even my assignment? Should I even be doing this? And then it occurred to me, my favorite leader of all time is Nelson Mandela. And I got a little exercise that I do sometimes with people when I ask them to think about their favorite leader and write down the characteristics of that leader, and then evaluate how much they show up like that leader or not. And if they don't show up like that leader, it's a testament that they are out of alignment, that they are lacking integrity in some ways, to say that you want certain leadership characteristics demonstrated to you, but you're not willing to demonstrate it to other people. And Nelson Mandela is mine, right? So I was thinking about Nelson Mandela, and it was just like a light bulb went off. Oh my gosh. Every time someone has an assignment, there are obstacles in the way, without exception. And his obstacles look like decades in prison off in an island off the coast of South Africa, Robben Island. And then I thought about all of my favorites. I happen to be Christian, so Jesus is one. Araminta Ross or Harriet Tubman is another. Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, James Baldwin, Octavia Butler, like Audre Lorde. Like when I start thinking about the people, I respect their leadership. And I believe that they have been given a purposeful assignment, that they have specific work they're here to do. All of them have had obstacles in the way. And so when I think about the obstacles that are sitting in front of us right now, when we know we can't crush diversity, like the engineer in me is like, it's ridiculous. If you have two people who are married to each other, you have diversity. You can't get rid of it. It's impossible to have people and not have diversity. And I know that many times people, when they think about diversity, they think about diversity you can see, which is the easiest to discriminate, like race, gender, sexual orientation, those kinds of things. But you can't get two people together who are not different. Like you just have it. So people can try to legislate all they want against difference. They can't. When I think about what it looks like, when I look at my favorite leader, when you ask people to evaluate their favorite leaders, the thing they're going to say is fair. Fair is going to show up on that list of characteristics over and over and over again. Equity is nothing but fair. When you think about the word inclusion, I have 6 siblings. When I think about people with multiple siblings, if they all lived in the house together, if your house was functioning well, everyone felt like they belonged. Everyone was super clear on their roles. Everyone had skill, talent, and ability to do something and contribute in some way. It's inclusion. And so when I think about the obstacles that are against the 3 letters DEI right now, it's like, what does it look like to describe the work instead of using the labels? I think about it in terms of empathy, because to me, you can't be a leader if you are not empathetic and inclusive. What do you mean you don't understand your people and you don't care to make sure that they're in an environment where their skill, talent, and ability can be leveraged for the best of everybody as a whole, right? Like, of course, you need both of those things to be a good leader. The engineer in me understands that from a logical and reasonable standpoint. But there are 2 ways to learn empathy. One is pleasantly, one is painfully. I learned empathy the painful way, through lots of death, lots of grief, lots of loss and betrayal, and having my heart broken wide open. And while I am, I think, an incredibly smart person who knows how to help leaders push their team forward, I am also now a person who has felt the range of human emotion so that I can help people lean into empathy and compassion, and also harmony and how to bring people along around a common idea. I believe that there's more of us who believe this and think this than there are of those of us who don't. And right now, the people who have the assignment to bring us together around a shared purpose are facing a lot of obstacles. There's legislation in the way. The highest leader in our land is not necessarily the best example of emotional intelligence. We are working in spaces where folks have rolled back everything that we have known for decades has helped to drive high performance on teams. Just obstacles. That does not mean when you have obstacles that you sit down, that you step out, that you stop. It is understanding and holding on to the mission that you individually have been given, and recognize that the obstacles are part of it. I want us to start getting excited when we see obstacles after we cuss a little bit. Be excited about these obstacles, because it is a testament that you are going to do something powerful. And hatefulness, slothfulness, laziness, divisiveness, all of those things when we are convinced that it must be easy, that flow should happen when we're doing our purposeful work. And so it might look like I'm talking to y'all. I'm not. This message is for me today, because trying to teach empathetic leadership and trying to tell people that empathy is the way, it's the hardest work I've ever done. And it ain't just hard with the people who lack high levels of emotional empathy. It is equally, if not more, hard with people who think they are already empathetic. And you see the smile on my face because I am convinced that this assignment was given to me from a spiritual place, and I'm going to keep at it, not because I am arguing with reality, not because I don't observe the obstacles that are present, but because I know that every leader I have ever admired, including Jesus, the obstacles were part of the assignment. I'm curious to know what y'all think about this, because if I'm thinking about it incorrectly, I am open to other people's perspectives on the matter. But this idea that somehow God ain't in it if it's hard, I don't know if I believe that anymore. Because even Jesus himself was not an example of that. It's Filter Free Friday, y'all. We got work to do.